guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Andri and today is just another day in the life. I'm bringing you another video in our series called Tuesday's Animal Topic of the Day. It is, if you couldn't guess by the title, uploaded every Tuesday, and it's about subjects that are anything from basic subjects on animal care all the way to very controversial subjects that a lot of people are opinionated about. So stay tuned every Tuesday for a new topic of the week. And here I have my little friend Princess Leia. She is going to join us for the video. Sometimes these videos can be a little bit long, so go ahead and grab your beverage of choice, grab a snack, grab your furry friend that you want to accompany you during this video, and let's get started. So this topic for today is a topic that doesn't get addressed a whole lot, but I feel like it needs to because it's a topic a lot of people run into. So I'll get asked sometimes, does my colony animal really need a friend, or will they be just fine if I give them the attention and if they're just by themselves? So that is the topic of the day. Does my colony animal really need a friend, or can they live a fulfilling life by themselves? So the way I think about that is that yes, they do need a friend, because you have to think about it this way. A lot of times we can't provide the enrichment to that animal that their own kind would provide, such as we can't offer them the same type of grooming, the same type of cuddling to keep them warm. We can try, but also just by them being around their own kind, they communicate in a way that we can't communicate to them, and it's just a whole different experience. There are exceptions, so please keep that in mind. With everything I say, there are exceptions. There are extreme cases to where you might have an extremely aggressive pet that does not do good with any other friends. And just so you guys know, in case you're wondering, hedgehogs are more solitary animals. They do not do well in colonies just because they tend to pick on each other. So just in case you were saying, oh, well, you have a hedgehog in the video and that's not a colony animal, or that's not considered a colony animal. I realize that, but I just picked a random pet, you guys, to cuddle with during the video. What am I talking about? I'm about to go to the movie theaters, so. So basically, what I was saying about the aggressive animal that you sometimes do have to keep separate, that's very rare, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn this into a story time and about my experience with one of my gliders I got to kind of tell you guys like how I found out that he actually needed a friend even though he was aggressive. So we got Corbin. Corbin is our male glider, and when we first got him, he was extremely aggressive. Like, I could not let my children handle him. He would lunge at us. We wouldn't even provoke him. We would just open the cage door to put his food in there, and he would just lunge at us and draw blood. He was extremely aggressive. Didn't sit still to get his nails clipped or anything, and you could not even try to hold him without bundling him up in a ball of fleece, because he just would try to bite the you know what out of you. So it was not fun. And a lot of people, when they get an aggressive animal like that, the breeder told us that he did not do well with any gliders. He was aggressive. He needed to be on his own. So I was like, okay at first, and we kept him on his own. Anyways, we had to do the quarantine to make sure he didn't have any illnesses or anything before we put him with our female sugar glider at the time, who is Lilu. So basically, we got him, brought him home. He was super aggressive. I couldn't let my kids handle him. And some people will think, well, I just want to give up. This is too much, you know, or they'll just keep the pet on their own, thinking that they're just so aggressive they can't have a friend. And in Corbin's case, that wasn't true. And we figured that out because after the quarantine passed, we went ahead and we put him in with Lilu, and at first there was a little bickering like any other animals being introduced, because it's like, hey, you're in my space. So there was a little bit of bickering, but he wasn't trying to hurt her or anything. He was more defensive because she was in his space. So we gave them a little time and slowly did the intros over and over again. And then once they actually were doing a lot better and they were in the cage, he completely changed his demeanor. Like, he went from this very aggressive sugar glider that my kids couldn't handle to this awesome little sweet sugar glider. And I was like, wow, I saw the night and day difference. And that's why I always say, whenever someone comes to me and they tell me, hey, my colony animal is very aggressive, do you recommend I keep them on their own or I pair them with somebody? My answer is always to do slow introductions, but at least attempt to give them a friend. Because many times they actually get depressed and angry just being by themselves, so they don't want any human interaction because they don't have any of their own kind and that kind of interaction, and they're just upset about it all. So sometimes animals are misunderstood, and all it takes is finding that one other friend that they can be with and of their own kind, and many times it helps them get out of their own shell. Another thing is that since Lilu was so bonded to us and she let us pet her and all of that, and she didn't bite us, he actually looked at her to learn a lot of his behaviors all over again. And mind you, he was 2 years old when we got him. He was not a baby. So a lot of people will think that, you know, an adult glider takes longer to bond with. And that's true. It does take longer. But many times if you have a glider that's alone and they're older and they're aggressive, the answer is just finding them a friend that they can relate to. And many times once they see that buddy, especially if that sugar glider is very tame towards you, then chances are that that aggressive glider will now become a lot more calm because they will see and start to notice how the other glider acts towards the family, and they will learn from that. So the motto of the story is, if you have an aggressive animal, there are exceptions. However, the majority of the time, they just want love from their own kind. They are misunderstood a lot of times. So just try to listen to your pet and do what is in the best interest of the pet, whether it find a friend or whatever. A lot of people take the easy way out and they just won't even try. So at least try, and you never know, you might actually see a huge change in your glider. And also, with Corbin and how he became a lot calmer and everything with Lilu, he actually ended up being an amazing dad. And of course we do have lineage on our gliders. I was able to find all their lineage out and all of that before we started breeding, and I strongly recommend that people research before you breed because it is not for the faint of heart. It is very hard to breed sugar gliders. I mean, the breeding part is easy because they'll pretty much do it all, but you never realize how many times there's a potential for cannibalism. They can get stressed out if they're not on the right staple diet. You need extra cages in case you have to separate babies from an aggressive male or whatever it may be. So definitely do your research before you get into breeding. But he was an amazing dad, and all of this was because he was just trying to tell us, like, hey, I need a buddy, I'm lonely, I'm angry at y'all because you have me all alone in the cage. And we took him out all the time. That's how I eventually also got to be able to hold him. I took him out so many times in the bonding pouch. If you have an aggressive glider, you can also cup them in a ball with your hands and wrap some fleece over it and just hold them in that. Just get them used to it. And then little by little, you can try to reach your hands into that fleece and to pet your glider. And eventually they will come around. That, and also a lot of treats. It took treats and bribing to get him to be that way. But the ultimate thing that really calmed him down and calmed his demeanor was finding a pet for him that he could be friends with. That's all he wanted. So Leia is gonna say bye-bye. It was nice talking to y'all, and now I'm gonna go curl up and go back to sleep again. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching my videos. Please stay tuned for the next Tuesday's animal topic of the day, and have a great day guys. Bye.